Hey folks, this is Billy DKY, the truth seeker that simplifies and demystifies. This is going to be UFC 107 predictions number 2, BJ Penn versus Diego Sanchez. After watching the countdown to UFC 107 and looking at comments from my videos, and plus I had a couple misspeaks and wasn't really clear on what I was trying to get across in my first video on UFC 7 predictions. So let's talk about some more things on the fight, and since we're getting closer to it. First fight, BJ Penn versus Diego Sanchez. Boy, is there a lot of love for Diego Sanchez. I don't know why I didn't expect it, but wow, the comments on my videos has been overwhelmingly just a lot of people have a lot of hope for Diego, and after watching his video blog on the UFC.com, Diego is a real positive guy, and he's doing a lot of the right things like the yoga, working on the mind and spirit and realizing that's a big part of winning fights. So, don't get me wrong, I like Diego. I was sort of wanting Diego to win after watching his video blog, so you already go watch that. I think it'll give you a nice positive spin on Diego. Previously, on my prior prediction video, I talked about the masculine style versus the feminine style, which I said Diego had a masculine style. So let me explain what I mean when I say masculine style. Masculine is more forced. You're forcing your will on somebody. It's more like a Mad Hughes. You're forcing your will on somebody. That's a masculine style. BJ Penn's style is more of a feminine, soft. It's a soft. You don't see a lot of tension in BJ Penn. Or if you look at Diego, you see a lot of tension and stiffness. And that's really the difference. And I said aggressive, I think, in my first video, which I didn't necessarily mean aggression. It's more of how you dominate the other person. The masculine style dominates through force. The feminine dominates through softness. It's more of a mental thing, like Sun Tzu would have said. It's more mental than through force. So that's what I meant when I said masculine, feminine. And if you watch BJ Penn on some of his fights, like I used to watch some of his jiu-jitsu matches, and he's just like a wet noodle, really. He comes in on him, and he just rolls with them, and just, he lets them try to force their will, and then he just yields to it and uses that against them. So BJ's really got a good style for handling Diego's aggression and forcefulness. And really, the tension that I see in Diego is really a big hindrance. I think that Diego really needs to up his spirituality to the next level and learn to let go of that tension that he's carrying in his body, that forcefulness. Because even though it appears to be strength, it's actually a weakness. And if you notice what BJ Penn does when BJ don't use force until next to the end when he's doing the rear naked choke, then that's when he forces his will. He uses his energy wisely. So anyway, that's I wanted to clarify that. Okay, one thing I did not consider in my other prediction video was Diego's chin. Diego does have the Mexican chin, and I don't know how that's going to play. It's sort of a wild card for me now that I've really considered it. Even though BJ's got quicker hands and probably more accurate, what happens if BJ hits Diego 4 or 5 good shots and breaks his hand, and he can't really hit him as hard after that. So Diego's chin may be a very deciding factor in this fight. However, I still think a well-motivated, well-conditioned, relaxed BJ Penn is almost unstoppable at 155, except there is one guy that I think really poses a true threat to BJ Penn at 155, and that's Jose Aldo or Aldo. I don't know if it's Alto or Aldo. I think it's Alto. Back in UFC 140 or WEC when he fought Mike Brown, he totally dominated. That guy is phenomenal. I would like to see him come up to the UFC 155 division and challenge BJ Penn. I seriously think he has a chance. Well, based on the countdown to UFC 107, BJ Penn's cardio, he's moved Marv Barinovich down to Hilo, and he's training down there, and he's training. And really, Again, I think a well-conditioned, well-motivated BJ Penn is a beast. And again, I'll point out that BJ can't really win a decision because he's not using a forceful style, that's real popular with people. However, it's not really the ultimate fighting style. You want to have a good harmony between your feminine and masculine style, and the breakdown is about 85% feminine and 15% masculine. And again, it's about using your energy wisely. Okay, so I think that's covered what I want to say on that. Last time I misspoke and said 80% BJ Penn, 30% Diego Sanchez, and basically what happened there, I know that ends up to 110%. I'm a mathematician, so I know it is a misspeak. What happened there is I had a 30%. I originally had 30% BJ Penn, 30% Diego, and at the last moment, based on the fly decision, I decided to change it, and I changed it to 80, but I forgot to change to 30, so that's what happened there. So anyway, I still think I'm going to change the odds back to 30% BJ Penn winning and 30, or let me back up, I probably misspoke this then. 70% BJ Penn winning and 30% Diego Sanchez winning. I really think the chin may wind up being if Diego's got a good chance of winning, I think that may be what really makes the difference, because when Clay was whacking on Diego wasn't moving. Has anybody ever rocked Diego? I don't think they have. He's never been knocked out, never been submitted. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be real interesting. I think BJ will stop him. However, it's pretty interesting. Okay, next fight that I want to discuss after watching the countdown to UFC 107. Frank Mir versus Cheick Kongo. And basically, Cheick Kongo, nothing's different for me. I still feel the same way about him. It sounds like he's doing all ground game, which, if he is, that's good. Maybe that'll make a big difference. But something about his mind, I just don't think ground game it's easy. It's not easy for him. I think it's hard for him to perform it. There's something about his forcefulness or something. He just don't have the mind for it, I don't really believe. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. The thing I want to talk about is, Brock Lesnar pissing Frank off. And that's why I say karma's a bitch. You really shouldn't go around pissing people off. It was good that Brock Lesnar came in and whipped Frank's ass after Frank whipped him, and that was a good thing. But after the fight's over, that's when it's squashed. It's over. You don't need to come up and being a jerk. And really, he lit a fire in Frank's butt that I think is going to wind up biting Brock back in his butt if Brock ever gets healthy again, which I don't really know. And I really like the way Frank's heading in his direction in his strength training, because, even though he's a big guy, he's not a real strong guy, per se, compared to the other top heavyweights. And I really like everything Frank's saying. I really like the ways, he may have a mouth on him, but nonetheless, he's heading in the right direction. He is evolving in his strength and, and conditioning kind of stuff. So I think if a well-conditioned Frank Mir, a strong, well-conditioned Frank Mir is a beast in heavyweight, and he may seriously give Cain Velasquez and Shane Carwin a run for their money, because his jiu-jitsu is bad, And I'm going to leave the breakdown the way I did before. 70% Frank Mir and 30% Cheick Kongo. I will have a post-fight video out 30 minutes after the fight, as usual. And it'll be UFC 107 post-fight commentary. So you can come out and watch that. Last time it didn't get loaded up right, but it should be fine. Also, I'll have a playlist on UFC 107, so you can watch the prediction 1, 2, and the post-fight commentary if you want. You don't have to, obviously. And I've also I did put a video out for the Tough 10 finale post-fight commentary, and there's a playlist for that whole Tough 10 finale thing that I have. And anyway, if you wouldn't mind, please rating, and until next video, later, folks.